Yo, how's it going, guys? KPR here, bringing you guys another video. And today, I want to revisit the tank role. Because I started picking it up again since I've been playing in a while, like I would say about 3 weeks or so. And I truly forgot how excruciating it could be. Now, I was going to title this video like, is tank role still excruciating? And yes, it truly is. Now, I wouldn't mind if they went back to a 6v6 setting, but this means that for DPS and support, the queue times are going to go up much higher than they are right now. At times it could be like 2 to 3 minutes, but for DPS usually it'll almost always be 6 minutes or so. I've been playing DPS for the past, well, 3 weeks basically, and I usually take around 5 to 6 minutes to actually find a match when I'm solo queuing. When I'm in a group, it doesn't take as long, but it still takes quite a while, especially if no one picks the tank role, which, kind of annoying. So it'll go up much higher once 2 tanks are actually needed to actually find a match. People say they would go back to tank if they brought back 6v6, but I'm pretty sure most of them are lying. We'll have to wait and see whether they hold up to their word. I know that there's supposed to be some sort of test. I believe it was this season. I hella forgot when it was, but I am 90% sure they said that they would do it. Don't know what time this season. I'm assuming it's going to be during the mid-season patch or somewhere around there. I would say this is probably the most excruciating role, but as well the most satisfying out of all of them. Because when I dominate as DPS, I don't feel as how to say it, it's not as enjoyable or satisfying as it is when I'm dominating as tank. Because as DPS, honestly, it's not too hard to do it, especially if you know how to play Reaper. People complain about the Hog, Orisa, and Maga meta, but dude, Reaper would have been dominating if people actually knew how to play him. Like, that's who I would play most of the time when I was playing DPS during that meta. I would just go Reaper and literally just melt the Maga because he can't really out heal all that damage. This was before the tanks got the 25% headshot damage reduction, and even then, I wouldn't say it's too useful. You could still melt them pretty quickly. Body shots still do a pretty good amount of damage. It used to be around. It wasn't exactly 300 damage. I forgot how much damage Reaper does exactly, but it's close to the 300 range if you hit all pellets on the head. Now back to my main point. So as DPS, I'm able to do that more times than not. But as tank, when I'm actually trying to carry the match or try to do something near that level, it is much harder to do because you will be the main focus of everyone. It's really stupid. I don't know why people try to go for tank or counter right away. I'll go Doomfist at the beginning and I'll get around 2 to 3 picks, and then they'll instantly swap to Cassidy, Sombra, and Orisa. I'm like, bro, what? Look at my DPS over there. He already killed you guys off spawn. Like, bro, go for the other DPS. Don't go for me. I'm barely holding a candle to them. Like, dog, it's just really dumb. It's like everyone hates Doomfist so much they'll just instantly counter swap. And also, I noticed too that the 15-second thing they said that it would mask the swap for 15 seconds didn't actually go through. You actually can see who they switched to right away. So I don't know if they ever mentioned that or if they're going to fix it. Hopefully they fix it soon, because some people are most likely mad about that. Now, I don't mind counter swapping as much, but it still frustrates me when I'm playing Doomfist because they'll go 3 to 4 counters just to murk me often. I'm just like, bro, I can't even play this, so I'll switch right away too to counter them. It'll work out most of the times because, like I mentioned, DPS are the ones actually doing something in the higher ranks, and I'm over here trying to support them. But since they're focusing me, my DPS can just go do whatever they want. Now, another thing I want to talk about is when the tanks were buffed, a bunch of the content creators said that, oh, you gotta go support your Kaiju, you gotta go support your tank. Like, bro, you mean you gotta go play with your team? Instead of just going off on your own and getting all those limbs because DPS was the most broken role before tanks got buffed? People were mad that in a team game, you have to play as a team. You actually have to stick together, take the high ground together, or, just play as a team in general. They were mad about that. So I'm just like, bro, I just hate that saying. Each time I saw it, whenever I was watching Flats or Karq, because those are the main ones I watch, and I actually saw other ones saying it as well. But regardless, it's just annoying that they said, "Oh, you actually had to play around them." It's like, dog, no. What you want to say is that now you had to play as a team. It's just insanely dumb to me. The other thing is that they said they were practically raid bosses, but the only one that really was like a raid boss was Diva. There was no true counters to her, and the only one that would somewhat counter her was Winston. And guess what? They nerfed him. I'm like, bro, that's not even good. Like, Winston did not need a nerf. I would rather much have a Winston in the meta. I already mentioned this before in a previous video that he takes way more skill than Diva. Unlimited shotguns. She doesn't even overheat on her little shotguns. She can just dive you insanely fast, and her micro missiles do a ton of damage as well. And actually, I hella forgot that my whole point about this whole little rant is that tank, when you dominate as tank, it truly is insanely satisfying. Like, as support, it just feels like, it just feels like a job. It does not feel too satisfying when you just get a bunch of heals and a bunch of damage along with it. For DPS, it can be whatever, but if I hit like a quadruple or a quintuple, yeah, it'll be a bit satisfying, but it doesn't truly feel that way in most situations or in the moment as well. But as tank, it truly does. It's just really satisfying. You can tell you're popping off and you're just like helping your team out a lot, just getting a bunch of limbs. Especially as Doomfist, that's the one who I've noticed this the most with. I'll play Junker Queen as well. And then I used to play Maga way more, but right now I don't feel like playing him as often unless they're playing a truly annoying comp setup. That's the only time I'll go Maga. Now, you guys could also be popping off as tank, but let's say you lose a match. You know who they're going to blame? They're not going to blame the DPS that were probably trying to 1v5 and just staggering your team in general. They're not going to blame the Zen either, who barely had any limbs or heals to show for it. No, they're going to blame you, the dude who actually tried to cover your team and got a bunch of limbs along with it, had a bunch of damage mitigation as well. Like, bro, you're going to be the main target of your team as well. And it's just like, bro, look at everyone else. Like, people will say stats don't matter, but dog, in context, they truly do. You can see who was actually doing something and who wasn't. If you go negative in Overwatch, that's how you know you were the problem. Like, let's say you were close to it, it could still be argued that you were doing something for your team. But if you just go straight up negative, like, bro, you weren't doing anything. You were just feeding at that point. Like, nah, but they'll still blame you regardless of that. I literally got into so many matches where my support blamed me and or my DPS, and I was like, bro, what were you guys doing that entire time? Like, their tank wasn't even the problem. It was their DPS. I took care of their tank. You guys, I tried helping you guys out with the DPS as well. But guess what? You guys didn't help me out. You guys left me to die and the support to die. Like, bro, oh my gosh, it's just really annoying. But I'm still going to be playing tank, and I'll try to see if I can get to GM or not. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. Tank is just not as fun after picking it up after a while. It truly is as bad as I remember. But I'm pretty sure I just got Stockholm Syndrome by now, and I'm just like, nah, bro, I gotta keep playing this role regardless of how horrible it can be. Hopefully you guys are dominating your guys' matches. In mine, I'm going alright for now. I go up, I go down. It's going to keep happening like that. Hopefully I'm into GM by this season and not the next, because that would not be very fire. I'll also be playing the 6v6 whenever that comes out. I'll let you guys know what I think about it, if it's good in my opinion or if it's bad. Also, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys are playing tank, how your guys' experience is with it, or if you guys are playing a different role and having a much better time than tanks are. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a dislike if you guys disagree with it, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. With that being said, have a good day and stay safe. Later.